Hey guys, Travis Gillespie here. We've been working with fractions, and this problem was solved in the last video. It said which of the following fractions has a value less than 3/7, and then we were given 4 different options to choose from. We found that D was the correct answer. Well, in the last video, we used math sense to solve the problem, but I also mentioned you could use decimals or common denominators. So let's go ahead and I'm going to create a little bit of a divider here, and let's just look at, well, what if we were to solve the problem by creating decimals? So the way to solve this problem, I'm going to turn all of the fractions over here into decimals. Then I'm going to compare all of these values with 3/7, the decimal for 3/7. So let's start with 3/7. I'm just going to write that over here as 3/7. Well, I'm going to rewrite this using long division. That's 3 divided by 7, so 3 will go inside of the house. So whatever number is always in the numerator, that always goes in the house. So 3 is inside the house. We're going to divide by 7. 7's knocking on the door. 7 does not go into 3, so I'm going to put an X down above the 3. If you don't want to put an X down, you don't have to. But now, the next thing I have to do before I put any other values after the 3 down inside of the house, I'm going to put a decimal down right after the 3. And if I do it inside of the house, I've got to put one up on top of the house. So now, I'm going to lay a 0 down. And my decimals are aligned. That's good. 7 goes into 30 4 times. So 4 times 7 will give me a value of 28. 30 minus 28 gives me a value of 2. So let's bring another 0 down. So now I have 20, and 7 goes into 20 2 times. 2 times 7 gives me a value of 14. 20 minus 14 gives me a value of 6. Now I'm going to bring another 0 down, so let's just extend that bar a little bit. So I have 60, and 7 goes into 60 8 times. 8 times 7 gives me a value of 56. And when I subtract, I get 4. So I have a remainder of 4. I don't want to go any further from here, so I'm just going to stop at 0.428. So let's get rid of all this extra information real quick. And let's get rid of this X as well. And now I'm just going to bring 0.428 over next to 3/7 here. So 3/7 is equivalent to 0.428. And now that we know how to convert fractions into decimals, well, I'm just going to write the values for these other fractions over here. I'm going to change colors real quick. So we have 1/2. So 1/2 is equivalent to 0.5. Then we have 3/5, and 3/5 is equivalent to 0.6. 7/10 is equivalent to 0.7. So 7/10 is equal to 0.7. Let's just compare these three values with 0.428. And all we have to do is compare the first digits. Well, 5 is larger than 4, 6 is larger than 4, 7 is larger than 4, so we can automatically see that A, B, and C don't work, so we've got to cross them all off. The only option that's left is D, but let's just prove that 4/11 is smaller, or the value is less than 3/7 here. And if you were to use long division to divide, well, 4/11 or 4 divided by 11, I'm just going to rewrite that over here. 4 divided by 11 is equivalent to, if you use long division, you would find out it's equivalent to 0.36, and then you have 36 repeating over and over and over. So I'm just going to put an overbar over the 3 and the 6 because they repeat. So now if we look at the first digit, or the digit in the 10th place value, which is a 3 here, and compare it to the digit in the 10th place value here, which is a 4, well, 4 is larger than 3. Therefore, 3 is less than 4. 4/11 has to be less than 3/7 up above. Again, our answer would be D.